There is a love that doesn't announce itself with fireworks. It's the kind of love that breaks you open and still whispers, "I will find you. I will wait. I will never let you go." This is a story about Kyle and Josephine, and it begins with an ending. His phone buzzed. Again. 12 missed calls from his CFO. 47 emails marked urgent. A text from his lawyer, Kyle. "The board is calling for an emergency meeting. You need to respond." He took another drink and stared at the wall across from him, covered, every inch of it, with photographs. Josephine laughing at a farmer's market. Josephine reading on his balcony, sunlight caught in her hair. Josephine sleeping in his bed, peaceful and perfect. "I let you go," he whispered to the pictures, his voice raw and cracking. "I let you both go. You asked me to, and I did it." His hands trembled. The bourbon sloshed in the bottle. He pressed the blanket to his face, breathing in the fading scent of his daughter. 6 months old now. He'd held her exactly once. In that hospital room, when Josephine woke up screaming, "Get away from me. Get away from her." The memory made him flinch even now. "I didn't know," he said to the empty room. "I searched everywhere. 8 months, Joe. 8 months of looking for you. And when I finally found you..." He closed his eyes, seeing it again. Josephine's motionless body, the swell of her belly under thin hospital sheets, the steady beep of monitors. "You woke up and looked at me like I was a monster." His phone buzzed again. His CFO, Kyle, "We've lost the Meridian account. Stock is down 34%. Please respond." He tossed the phone across the room. "I don't care," he said to no one. "I don't care about any of it." Without Josephine, the empire he'd built felt like an elaborate mausoleum. He went to meetings drunk, signed contracts without reading them, fired executives for breathing too loud. His board was in revolt. His investors were fleeing. Let it all burn. He raised the bottle in a mock toast to the wall of photographs. "I let you go, Joe," he whispered. "But I can't. I can't figure out how to let you go." The bourbon was gone. The room spun. He lay down on the floor, clutching the pink blanket, and closed his eyes. In his dreams, Josephine was still his. Arya was in his arms. And nothing had been poisoned except the people who'd tried to destroy them. This story began 15 months earlier. But before we go back in time, we acknowledge the presence and engagements of some of our special viewers. Paulette from Middle England, Anne Borland from Canada, Cheryl and Orchid G from London, UK. We appreciate your presence and love for our channel. Now, sit back and enjoy this emotional roller coaster. Brace up. It will break your heart before healing it. The summer air was thick with the scent of jasmine and cut grass. Josephine stood on the terrace of the Hartwell estate, watching the sun set over manicured gardens that seemed to stretch into infinity. She'd been here a week, invited by her best friend Imani for a girls' summer getaway. And already she felt out of place among the marble statues and crystal chandeliers. "You're hiding." She turned to find a man leaning against the terrace doorway, a slight smile on his face. He was tall, lean, with dark hair that fell carelessly across his forehead, and eyes that seemed to see straight through her casual composure. Kyle Hartwell, Imani's older brother. The billionaire tech genius who'd been in Singapore for the past 2 years. "I'm not hiding," Josephine said, turning back to the sunset. "I'm appreciating the view. The view's better from the East Garden. Want me to show you?" She glanced at him, suspicious. "Shouldn't you be at some important dinner with important people?" "Probably." He pushed off the doorframe and walked to stand beside her. "But I'd rather talk to you. You don't know me. Imani talks about you constantly." Josephine this, Josephine that. My best friend is brilliant, Kyle. She's getting her master's in public policy. She's going to change the world. I figured I should meet this world changer. Josephine felt heat rise to her cheeks. Imani exaggerates. Does she? Kyle turned to look at her fully, and the intensity in his gaze made her breath catch. Because from where I'm standing, she undersold you. That was how it started. A conversation on a terrace. Then a walk through the gardens. Then coffee in the morning. Then lunch. Then dinners that stretched past midnight, talking about everything and nothing. Her dreams of criminal justice reform, his vision for ethical AI, their shared love of terrible action movies, and good bourbon. Within 2 weeks, Josephine had fallen so completely in love with Kyle Hartwell that it terrified her. I shouldn't be doing this, she whispered one night as they sat by the pool, their feet dangling in the water. Doing what? This. You. I'm Imani's best friend. You're her brother. It's complicated. Kyle took her hand under the water, his fingers warm against hers. Life's complicated, Joe. But this? He squeezed gently. This feels like the simplest thing in the world. She looked at him. Really looked at him. At the way the pool lights reflected in his eyes. At the soft smile that seemed reserved only for her. At the man who'd somehow seen past her defenses and made her believe in fairness and goodness again. I'm falling in love with you, she admitted quietly. And it scares me. Kyle's expression softened. He cupped her face with his free hand, his thumb brushing her cheek. Don't be scared, Joe. I've already fallen. I'm just waiting for you to catch up. He kissed her then, soft and sure, and Josephine felt the world tilt on its axis. For 6 perfect weeks, they lived in a bubble. Stolen kisses in the library. Late-night swims. Him reading beside her while she studied. Her falling asleep on his shoulder during movie marathons. Imani teasing them relentlessly, but seeming genuinely happy. But Josephine didn't know that summer love stories don't survive in families built on business mergers and strategic alliances. She didn't know that the best summer of her life was about to become her worst nightmare. Kyle left for a business trip to London on a Tuesday. 2 weeks, he promised, kissing her goodbye at the airport. Then I'm back, and we're telling everyone. My family, your family. Making this official. Official? Josephine teased, though her heart raced. Official. He grinned. I'm thinking spring wedding. Small. Just people we love. What do you think? I think you're crazy. Crazy about you. Another kiss. Deeper this time. I love you, Josephine. I love you too. She watched his plane take off, her heart so full it ached. That night, the nausea started. By Thursday, she'd taken 3 pregnancy tests. All positive. By Friday, panic had set in. She was 26, in grad school, in love with a man whose world was so different from hers. It felt like another planet. A baby wasn't in the plan. But as she stared at those 2 pink lines, something shifted inside her. Our baby. Mine and Kyle's. The panic softened into something else. Something warm and terrifying and hopeful. She needed to tell someone. She needed advice, support, someone to help her figure out how to tell Kyle. She called Imani. Oh my God, Joe. Are you serious right now? They were in Imani's room, the pregnancy test sitting on the dresser between them. I know it's a shock, Josephine said, her hands twisted in her lap. But Imani, I love him. And I think this could be good. Scary, but good. I just need to figure out how to tell him. Should I wait until he's back? Or call him? Or... You can't tell him. Josephine blinked. What? Imani's expression was strange, tight and controlled. Joe, there's something you don't know. Something I should have told you weeks ago. Dread pooled in Josephine's stomach. What are you talking about? Kyle's engaged. The words hit like a physical blow. What? It's been arranged for years. A merger with the Beaumont family. Kyle had been trying so hard to dissolve it, to no avail for many months now. Said he has no feeling whatsoever towards her. But it's already contracted. Legal agreements, business arrangements. The whole thing. Josephine couldn't breathe. No, he would have told me. He said he loved me. He said. I'm sure he meant it, Imani said softly, pityingly. But Joe, you have to understand. Kyle's world isn't like yours. Men in this family don't marry for love. They marry for power, for dynasties. You and Kyle. I thought it was just going to be a summer fling. It was never going to be more than that. He proposed to me. Josephine's voice was shaking. At the airport. He talked about a spring wedding. He was probably trying to figure out how to dissolve the contract marriage for good this time. Imani reached for her hand, but Josephine pulled away. I'm so sorry, Joe. I should have warned you before you got in too deep. Too deep? Imani, I'm pregnant. I know. Imani's face was grave. And that's why we need to handle this carefully. If my mother finds out, if the Beaumont family finds out, Joe, it could destroy everything. Josephine stood up, her legs unsteady. I don't care about the company. I care about Kyle. About our baby. But Kyle cares about the company. Imani stood too, her voice gentle but firm. It's his legacy, Joe. His father's legacy. You know how seriously he takes responsibility. Did she? Josephine thought wildly. What do I do? She whispered. Imani pulled her into a hug. Let me help you. Let me talk to Mother. Maybe we can figure something out. Something that protects everyone. I don't need protection, Josephine said, pulling back. I need Kyle. I know. Imani's eyes were bright with unshed tears. I know you do. Just give me a day, okay? Let me see what I can do. Don't make any decisions yet. Please? Josephine nodded numbly, too overwhelmed to argue. That night, Imani sat in her mother's study, her hands shaking as Vivienne paced like a caged predator. Pregnant, Vivienne hissed. That girl is pregnant with Kyle's child. Mother, I think we should tell Kyle. Let him make his own choice. Maybe he'll what? Throw away $100 million merger for some grad student he's known for 6 weeks? Vivienne turned, her eyes cold. No. This ends now. What are you going to do? Vivienne opened a drawer in her desk and pulled out a small amber bottle. You're going to give her these. Tell her they're prenatal vitamins. That you want to support her. That you've accepted the situation and want to help her stay healthy for the baby. Imani stared at the bottle, her stomach churning. What are they really? Does it matter? Mother. Imani. Vivienne's voice turned soft, persuasive. You love your friend, don't you? You want her alive and breathing? Then you better give her this while you still can. You know how dangerous the Beaumont family can be if they find out. Even your brother may not be safe for his betrayal. These pills will simply reset the situation. She'll have some cramping, and then it will be over. She can go back to her normal life, and Kyle can fulfill his responsibilities. You want me to poison her? I want you to save your friend and your brother. Vivienne pressed the bottle into Imani's hands. You're her best friend. She trusts you. One pill in her tea, and this whole mess disappears. Kyle never has to know. The merger proceeds. Everyone wins. Except Josephine. Josephine will be fine. Women end pregnancies all the time. She'll grieve for a bit, then move on. Trust me. Imani looked at the bottle, horror and loyalty warring in her chest. She loved Josephine. She loved Kyle more. And if Mother was right, if this pregnancy would threaten their lives, wasn't it her duty to protect them? Just one pill? She whispered. Just one. In something warm. Tea or soup. She won't even taste it. The next evening, Imani showed up at Josephine's apartment with takeout and a bright smile that felt like glass in her mouth. Hey! I thought we could have a girls' night. I brought thy food and that chamomile tea you love. Josephine looked exhausted, her eyes red-rimmed. Imani, I don't know if I'm up for... Please? I've been thinking about what you said, and I want to help. Not just with the Kyle situation, but with the pregnancy. I want to be there for you. They sat on the couch, eating pad thai and talking carefully around the Kyle-shaped elephant in the room. Imani made tea. Chamomile with honey, just the way Josephine liked it. As the kettle boiled, Imani stood in the kitchen, the amber bottle in her shaking hand. Just one pill, and they will be safe. Just one pill, and everything goes back to normal. She dropped it into Josephine's mug, watching it dissolve in the hot water. Her hands were shaking so badly she nearly dropped the honey jar. Josephine drank the tea warm, soothing. I'm scared, she admitted, but also kind of excited. Is that crazy? Not crazy, Imani whispered, guilt clawing at her throat. 20 minutes later, Josephine set down her mug and frowned. I feel kind of dizzy. Maybe you should lie down. Imani. Josephine's face went pale. Something's wrong. The room tilted. Josephine tried to stand, but her legs gave out. The cramping started. Violent, vicious waves that made her gasp. God, she whimpered, clutching her stomach. The baby. Imani, something's wrong with the baby. The tea. Blood bloomed through her jeans. Imani screamed. Panic consumed the next hours. Imani called her mother. She's bleeding everywhere. I think she's dying. Did anyone see you? What? No, Mother, she needs help. Not locally. Take her to North County Memorial. 3 hours away. Drop her at the ER and leave. But she could die. Then drive fast. Imani carried a semi-conscious Josephine to her car. What have I done? Mother had said one pill. Just cramping, some bleeding. Not this. Not Josephine gasping and dying. She drove 3 hours to a small county hospital, pulled up to the emergency entrance at 2 a.m. Help! She screamed. My friend. She's hemorrhaging. Nurses rushed out with a gurney. What's her name? Imani's mind went blank. If she gave Josephine's real name, it could be traced back. Mother said no records. I don't remember. We were at a party. You don't know your friend's name? I have to go. She ran back to her car and drove away, sobbing. Over the next 2 days, guilt ate her alive. On the second day, she cleared out Josephine's apartment, just as her mother instructed. On the third day, she drove back and paid the hospital bill. $47,000 in cash. Left it for Jane Doe with no name. It was the least she could do. The only thing she could do. Kyle landed at LAX on a Wednesday afternoon, a ring box in his pocket. He went straight to Josephine's apartment. When he knocked, there was no answer. He tried her phone. Straight to voicemail. He used the spare key she'd given him. The apartment was empty. Not just of people. Empty of her. Her clothes were gone. Her books missing. Everything. He called Imani. Where's Josephine? A pause. Too long. Imani. Where is she? Kyle, I don't know how to tell you this. His blood turned to ice. Tell me what? Is she okay? Did something happen? She left. Left? What do you mean, left? She. Imani took a shaky breath. She's been seeing someone else. An old boyfriend from back home. Her childhood sweetheart or something. She's been in love with him this whole time, Kyle. She was never serious about you. I'm sorry. Kyle felt the floor drop from beneath him. That's not true. We were together. We were happy. She wouldn't. Kyle, I saw them together. Last week, before you got back. They were. She was pregnant, Kyle. With his baby. She told me she'd made a mistake getting involved with you, that she was going back to him. They eloped. She's gone. No. The word came out strangled. No, that's not possible. She loves me. She told me. People lie, Imani said softly. And Kyle could hear tears in her voice. Real tears. The sound of them made the lie more believable. I'm sorry, big brother. I know you cared about her. Where did she go? What's his name? Kyle, don't. Just let her go. She made her choice. He hung up, stood in Josephine's empty apartment, and tried to breathe through the pain crushing his chest. It didn't make sense. None of it made sense. Josephine wasn't a liar. She'd looked him in the eye a dozen times and said, I love you. She'd talked about their future together. She'd fallen asleep in his arms, whispering plans and dreams and promises. She wouldn't just leave. Not without a word. Not without an explanation. Unless Imani was right. Unless he'd been the fool. The naive idiot who'd mistaken summer fun for something real. Kyle hired 3 private investigators. He called every hospital within 200 miles. He tracked down Josephine's grad school friends, her professors, her former roommates. No one had seen her. No one had heard from her. Her phone number was disconnected. Her email bounced back. Her social media accounts went silent. It was like she'd vanished into thin air. It's possible she doesn't want to be found, one investigator said gently after 6 weeks of dead ends. People who disappear this completely usually don't do it by accident. Keep looking, Kyle said. His company began to suffer. He missed meetings, ignored calls, showed up to presentations unprepared. Kyle, you need to let this girl go, Vivienne said during one particularly tense dinner. She's clearly moved on. Why can't you? Because something's wrong. He looked at his mother with hollow eyes. People don't just disappear, Mother. Not like this. Something happened to her, and I'm going to find out what. Months blurred together. 6, 7, 8. Kyle became a ghost in his own life. Imani avoided him. Racked with guilt, though he didn't know it. And every night, he returned to Josephine's empty apartment. He'd kept paying the rent, unable to let it go. And sat in the darkness, wondering where she was. If she was safe. If she ever thought of him. If she was real, or if he'd imagined the whole perfect summer. It was a Wednesday in the 8th month when his lead investigator called. Mr. Hartwell, I found something. You should sit down. Kyle gripped the phone, his heart racing. Where is she? North County Memorial Hospital. She's been there since about 2 weeks after you left for London. Kyle, she's in a coma. The world stopped. What? The records list her as Jane Doe. She was admitted to the ICU with severe hemorrhaging, hypovolemic shock, and anoxic brain injury. They've been keeping her on life support for 8 months, waiting for someone to claim her. Kyle couldn't breathe. I'm on my way. Tell them I'm coming. Tell them. Kyle, there's more. According to the medical records. The investigator paused. She's pregnant. Very pregnant. About 7 months along. Kyle dropped the phone. He made the 3-hour drive in 2 hours, his hands white-knuckled on the steering wheel. 8 months. She'd been in a coma for 8 months. While he'd been searching, going slowly insane, she'd been lying in some hospital bed alone and unconscious. And pregnant. Pregnant with someone else's baby, Imani's voice echoed in his head. But that didn't make sense either. The timeline didn't work. If she'd been admitted 2 weeks after he left for London, and she was 7 months pregnant now, that meant she'd been 8 or 9 weeks pregnant when she was hospitalized. Our baby. The realization hit him like a freight train. He pulled over, gasping for air. All this time. Josephine had been carrying his child while lying in a coma, alone and unclaimed in some hospital 3 hours away. And Imani had lied. His mother had lied. What did they do? He made it to North County Memorial at midnight, but nothing could have prepared him. Josephine lay motionless in the bed, her beautiful face gaunt and slack. Tubes ran from her arms, a ventilator breathed for her. And there, under the thin hospital blanket, was the unmistakable swell of her belly. Kyle stumbled to her bedside and took her hand carefully, afraid he might break her. "Joe," he whispered. "Oh God, Joe. What happened to you?" She didn't respond. The machines beeped their rhythmic answer. "We made a baby," he said softly. "You and me. And you didn't tell me. Why didn't you tell me?" "Because she thought you were engaged," a voice whispered in his head. "Because someone told her you were marrying someone else." His phone buzzed. A text from his mother. "Where are you? The Beaumont event is tomorrow." He blocked her number. A doctor appeared in the doorway. Dr. Patel, according to her badge. What happened to her? Why is she... She presented with severe hemorrhaging from misoprostol ingestion. "Do you know what that is?" Kyle's blood ran cold. "Abortion pills." "Yes. Someone gave her enough to cause catastrophic bleeding. She went into hypovolemic shock, had a cardiac event, and suffered oxygen deprivation to the brain. We managed to save both her and the fetus, but the brain injury was severe. We've kept her in a medically induced coma while her body heals. Someone gave her." Kyle couldn't finish the sentence. Rage and horror warred in his chest. "Imani. Who brought her in? We don't know. Someone dropped her at the ER entrance and left. We have security footage, but the person was wearing a hood. We couldn't identify them, but Kyle knew. He knew with bone-deep certainty. His sister, his own sister, had poisoned Josephine, left her to die, and then lied about it for 8 months. "Can I see the footage?" "I'll have security pull it up." 20 minutes later, Kyle watched grainy security footage of a figure in a hooded jacket, carrying an unconscious Josephine to the ER entrance and driving away. The car was a silver Mercedes. Imani's car. He watched it 3 times, his hands shaking with rage. Then he pulled out his phone and called his lawyer. "I need you to do something for me. Tonight." By dawn, Kyle had filed for full dissolution of family ties. He removed Vivienne from all company positions, froze all family trust funds except his own, and transferred Imani's shares to a blind trust she couldn't access. Then he called Imani. She answered groggily. "Kyle? It's 5 in the morning. I found her." Silence. "What?" "I found Josephine. She's in North County Memorial. Has been for 8 months. In a coma. Pregnant with my baby." He heard Imani's breath hitch. I saw the security footage, Imani. I know what you did. Kyle, I can explain. You poisoned her. You left her to die. And then you lied to me for 8 months while she lay in a hospital bed, unconscious and alone. I didn't mean... It wasn't supposed to. Kyle, please. Mother said it would just... I don't care what Mother said. You tried to kill her. You tried to kill my baby. And you looked me in the eye every day for 8 months and lied. Kyle, I'm so sorry. I thought I was helping. I thought, you're done, Imani. Both of you. I've removed you from the company. Frozen your accounts. You're out of my life. Forever. Kyle, no, please. She was supposed to be okay. Mother promised it would just be cramping. I didn't know she would almost die. I took her to the hospital. I paid her bills. Please, Kyle. But he'd already hung up. His phone rang immediately. He blocked the number. Then he returned to Josephine's bedside, took her hand, and didn't leave. For 3 weeks, Kyle lived in that hospital room. He read to Josephine's belly every night. Children's books, news articles, anything. I'm so sorry I left, he murmured on the 10th night. I'm sorry I didn't know. I'm sorry my family did this to you. He told her about the ring in his pocket that he still carried everywhere. I was going to propose, he said softly, stroking her hand. The day I got back. I had this whole plan, but I'll wait. However long it takes, I'll wait for you. On the 17th day, alarms screamed. She's hemorrhaging again. Emergency C-section. Kyle waited outside the OR for 3 hours. Finally, Dr. Patel emerged. You have a daughter. 4 pounds, 6 ounces. She's in the NICU breathing on her own. She's a fighter. And Josephine? Stable. In the NICU, Kyle met his daughter. Tiny, perfect. He placed one finger in her palm, and she held tight. Hi, baby girl. I'm your dad. And I've been waiting to meet you. He named her Aria. 3 weeks later, Kyle sat beside Josephine's bed, holding Aria, reading aloud. He heard Josephine gasp. His head snapped up. Her eyes were open, confused, frightened, searching the room wildly. Joe, he breathed, his heart hammering. Oh, thank God you're awake. Her gaze locked on Aria in his arms, and Kyle watched pure terror flood her face. No, she whispered, her voice raw and broken from months of disuse. No, my baby. Joe, it's okay. You're safe. The baby's safe. Look, give me my baby. The scream tore from her throat, primal and desperate. Get away from her. Alarms started beeping. Josephine tried to lunge forward, but her body was too weak, and she collapsed back against the pillows, sobbing violently. The door burst open. 2 nurses rushed in, followed immediately by Dr. Patel. Mr. Hartwell, step back, Dr. Patel ordered, moving to Josephine's side. My baby. He has my baby. Josephine was hyperventilating, her eyes wild. Mr. Hartwell, you need to leave. Now. Dr. Patel's voice was firm. But NOW. You're agitating her. Kyle stood frozen, Aria still in his arms, watching Josephine fight against the nurses trying to hold her down. Please, she was sobbing. Please, my baby. Mom, the baby is right here. She's fine, but we need you to calm down. He's one of them. His family tried to kill her. Don't let him touch her. A nurse was preparing a syringe. Kyle's heart shattered as he realized what was happening. Joe, please, he started. Mr. Hartwell. Out. Now. Dr. Patel pointed to the door. He took one last look at Josephine, wild-eyed, terrified, broken, and walked to the door. But before he could leave, a nurse gently took Arya from his arms. For 3 days, Kyle waited. He stayed at a hotel near the hospital, calling every few hours for updates. "She's stable," the nurses would say. On the 4th day, the hospital called him. "Mr. Hartwell? This is Nurse Tyle from ICU. Miss Richardson is asking to see you." His heart leaped. "I'll be right there." When Kyle entered Josephine's room 10 minutes later, she was sitting up in bed, Arya asleep in her arms. She looked stronger than she had 3 days ago. The color had returned to her face, though her eyes held a wariness that had nothing to do with physical exhaustion. She didn't look at him when he entered, just kept her gaze on their daughter. "Close the door," she said quietly. Kyle did, then stood awkwardly near the entrance, afraid to come closer. "You can sit," Josephine said, gesturing to the chair beside the bed. He sat, leaving several feet between them. The distance felt like miles. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. The only sound was Arya's soft breathing. "I've had 3 days to think," Josephine finally said, her voice steady but tired. Kyle waited, his hands clenched in his lap. "I remembered Imani making the tea." Josephine's voice cracked slightly. "I trusted her completely. She was my best friend, and she poisoned me. Joe. I also remembered what she told me. About your engagement to Celeste. About how I was just temporary." She finally looked at him, and the pain in her eyes made him want to weep. "It was a lie," Kyle said urgently. "All of it. I called off that engagement before we even—" "I know." Her words stopped him cold. "The nurses showed me the news articles about how you dissolved the engagement and how you cut your mother and sister out of your life." She paused. "I know you're innocent in this, Kyle. I know it was Imani and your mother who did this." Relief flooded through him. "Then you understand." "I understand that you're not to blame," Josephine interrupted. "But understanding doesn't change how I feel when I look at you." The relief evaporated. "I look at you, and I see that summer. But every good memory gets tangled with the betrayal. We can work through that." "No. I can't heal while I'm around you. I can't build a life while every day I'm reminded of what your family tried to take. They're not my family anymore. But they're still connected to you. I need to go somewhere far from all this, where I can breathe without fear." Kyle felt his world crumbling. "You're leaving?" "Yes. She deserves to know her father." "I know. And I hate taking that from you. But Kyle, I can't do this. I can't be around you anymore." Kyle turned to the window, trying to breathe through the agony. "This is my fault," Josephine said. "I trusted the wrong person. Should have come to you about the pregnancy. Don't blame yourself for trusting someone who claimed to love you. None of this is your fault, Joe." He turned to face her. "We could try." "No. Because I don't trust myself anymore. How can I risk my daughter's safety on feelings that betrayed me?" Kyle wanted to fight, but he looked at her exhaustion and fear and knew she was right. "Okay, I'll let you go. I'll set you up wherever you want. All through lawyers. You can build a life I'm not part of." "Kyle, but I need you to know that letting you go is the hardest thing I will ever do." His voice cracked. "I need you to know that I love you. That I will love you every day for the rest of my life. That there will never be anyone else. And losing you is going to destroy me." Josephine was sobbing. "And Arya, tell her about me or don't. Whatever's easier. But I'll be here if she ever needs me." He pulled out a velvet box and set it on the table. "I bought this before London. Was going to propose the day I got back." He stepped back. "I'll have my lawyer contact you. Whatever you need, it's yours. Just be safe. Be happy. And he was gone. Josephine clutched Arya and wept. 2 weeks later, everything was arranged. A Portland apartment. Money. Medical care. Security. All through lawyers. Josephine stood in her new apartment and felt empty. She'd brought the ring box. That night, she finally opened it. A simple platinum band, and a note for when you're ready to believe in forever again. Even if it's not with me. Kyle. She sat on the floor and cried. Back in Los Angeles, Kyle was dying. The first month, he tried to function. By the second, he stopped trying and started drinking. By the fourth, he stopped getting out of bed. He covered every wall with Josephine's pictures. Lost 30 pounds. His hands shook constantly. By month 6, his lawyer was the only person who came around. She's doing well, he would say. She started a job, and Arya's healthy. And Kyle would nod and pour another drink. It was Marcus who finally called Vivienne. He's dying. I think he's trying to kill himself, and if someone doesn't intervene, he'll be dead within months. I'll take care of it. Vivienne found Kyle barely conscious in his bed, surrounded by bottles and pictures. Kyle, wake up. Go away. Do you want to die? Yes. I can't watch you die. Should have thought of that before. I know what I did, and I'm already regretting it. But Kyle, please. You can't give up. Already did. Nothing left. I'll bring her back. I'll find Josephine. I'll beg her forgiveness. She won't come back. She hates us. But I have to try. Because I did this. 3 days later, Vivienne stood outside Josephine's Portland apartment. She pressed the buzzer. Miss Richardson. My name is Vivienne Hartwell. Please give me 5 minutes. Silence. Then the door buzzed open. Josephine stood in the doorway, eyes hard. What do you want from me? Vivienne's voice cracked. I came to apologize. I know words can't undo what I did. But I'm sorry. Apology unaccepted. She tried to close her door, but Vivienne held onto it. Please, Kyle is dying. That made Josephine stop. You tried to kill me. I know. But I'm not here for me. I'm here for Kyle. He's drinking himself to death. Doesn't eat. Doesn't sleep. Just lies there surrounded by your pictures, holding your daughter's blanket. That's not my fault. No, it's mine. But Mrs. Richardson, you need to know something. When he loves something, he loves it completely. You're it for him. There won't be anyone else. Josephine's eyes were bright with tears. Why are you telling me this? It's the truth. I know if he dies, it was entirely my fault, not yours. But I can't just let him die. That's manipulative. Please. I beg you, please. Can you at least talk to him? One conversation? I can't go back. Just talk. Let him see you're okay. I know you don't truly hate him. I wish I did. Then please. Vivienne set a card on the floor. Please help me save my son. She left. For 3 days, Josephine stared at that card. She called her therapist. What do you want? Dr. Keene asked. I really want to see him. So much it scares me. Then don't think about what comes after. Just think about seeing him for now. One step at a time. 2 days later, Josephine stood outside Kyle's penthouse building, heart hammering. The doorman called up. No answer. Do you have a key? For emergencies? I can't just... I'm the mother of his child. Please. They rode the elevator up. The doorman unlocked the door. The smell hit them first. Alcohol. Stale air. The place was a disaster. Bottles everywhere. Takeout containers. And the walls. Covered with pictures of her. Hundreds of them. "Kyle?" she called. "Kyle, where are you?" She found him in the bedroom, lying motionless. Gray skin. Shallow breathing. Empty pill bottles on the nightstand. "No." She ran to him, shaking his shoulder. "Kyle? Kyle, wake up." No response. Cold, clammy skin. "Call 911. She screamed. "Now." She rolled him onto his side, checking his airway. Breathing barely. Weak pulse. "Kyle, stay with me. I came back. I'm here. You can't just leave." Paramedics came. "We'll be there in 5 minutes." "He doesn't have 5 minutes." She shook him harder. His eyelids fluttered. "That's it. Come on. Open your eyes." "Joe?" His voice was barely a whisper. "I'm dreaming again?" "No. I'm real. Ambulance is coming. Stay awake." Sirens approached. Kyle's hand moved, reaching for her. She grabbed it. "I love you. Always loved you. I love you too. So stay. For me. For Arya. For us." His eyes met hers. Recognition, understanding, hope. Then his eyes rolled back and he went limp. "Kyle?" Paramedics burst in, pushing her aside. "Mom, we need space." He took pills. And alcohol. I don't know how much. They loaded him onto a gurney. "Are you family?" "I'm the mother of his child. And I'm not leaving him." At the hospital, they stabilized him. "You got to him just in time," the doctor said. "Another hour would have been too late. You saved his life." He'd taken benzodiazepines with alcohol. But was this a suicide attempt? I don't think he was trying to kill himself. Just trying to stop hurting. He needs professional help. 48 hours observation. Psychiatric evaluation. Can I see him? Yes. But know that he may be disoriented when he wakes. Josephine sat beside Kyle's bed, holding his hand. "You scared me. God, Kyle, you scared me so much." No response. Just monitors beeping. "I came back to see you and I found you like that. I thought I'd lost you. And I realized, being angry, being hurt, being scared, none of that changes that I love you. That I've always loved you. That losing you would destroy me too." She laid her head on the bed. "So you're going to wake up. Get help. And we're going to figure this out together." Kyle woke to someone weeping. His head felt like cotton. Everything hurt, but there was a hand in his. Warm, real. He opened his eyes. Hospital room. And Josephine. Her head on his bed, crying. "She's here. She's really here." "Joe?" His voice was a croak. Her head snapped up. "Kyle." "Oh, thank God." "What happened?" "You almost died, you idiot. I found you unconscious. Had to call for help." Memory returned. The pills. The bourbon. The decision that nothing mattered. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean. I just wanted to sleep. To not feel. I know. But Kyle, you can't give up. You can't leave me. You left me first," he said without malice. "I know. And I'm sorry. I thought you'd move on. I didn't realize that I was dying without you." "Yeah. Joe, every day without you is torture." "Then let's be together," Josephine said suddenly. "What?" "When I thought I might lose you, I realized I'm not over you. That trying to build a life without you is like trying to breathe underwater. But you were doing so well. I was surviving, not living." I don't want to just survive. I want to live. With you. With our daughter in a home with both her parents. Joe, I'm tired of running from how I truly feel. I love you. I've always loved you. And I want to try. I'd do anything. Go anywhere. I need you to get help. Real help. Therapy, rehab. Fight for yourself, not just for me. Okay, but when you're healthy and ready. You still owe me a proposal. He laughed for the first time in months. Deal. But Joe, thank you. For coming back. For saving me. Thank you for loving me enough to wait. I told you I'd never let you go. I meant it. I know. She climbed into the bed beside him, laying her head on his shoulder. And I'm never letting you go either. Kyle wrapped his arm around her, feeling her warmth. He was alive. She was here, and for the first time in 6 months, Kyle felt hope. Love had brought them together, tragedy had torn them apart, but healing would make them whole. This wasn't the perfect ending, but it was real, and it was theirs, and that was enough.